Okay, welcome into episode number 28 of Subeg's Garden. In this episode, the main topic for the show is my Helldivers 2 review. I know I'm a little bit late getting out this video, but that's because I really wanted to take my time with playing the game, put a few hours into it, really learn the loop and learn the mechanics and stuff, so I can have fully fleshed out thoughts about the game. But let's just jump right into it. This one is developed by Arrowhead and published by SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment, on February 8th, 2024, on PC and PS5. So this game represents PlayStation at least bringing their live service games day and date to PC. Helldivers is a very simple game. You and a group of friends or randos drop on a planet, do missions, kill enemies, collect resources, and then extract. That is really it. There's the gameplay loop. So if that sounds fun to you, then yeah, this game's a buy. You boot the game, and it makes you complete a mandatory first mission that teaches you the movement mechanics and other main aspects of the game. It teaches you the stratagems. From there, or after you complete the mission, you name your ship, and then boom, you're ready to pick a planet and helldive. First topic, gameplay. Everything in between that gameplay loop I described earlier is what makes this game special. Your characters have a certain heft to them. The speed of the character can change depending on the armor they wear, but overall the characters feel bulky. The advanced movement you have is a dive, in which you can dive forward, backward, left, and right. You can even shoot while diving. You can crouch, prone, melee, and slide as well. To me, the characters feel heavy and weighed down like The Last of Us, but I've seen online the movement mechanics of the game are most similar to Metal Gear Solid 5. So this is a third-person shooter, third-person sci-fi shooter. So they give you the typical repertoire of weapons. You got assault rifles, SMGs, shotguns, pistols, and even some energy/laser weapons. The cool thing is you can aim in third and first person. Overall, they give the players a lot of options to fight the bugs and the robots. Now we get into the stratagems. Stratagems are these orbital drops that you call in with a series of D-pad inputs. These can range from napalm bombs to special weapons, turrets, to even calling in your teammates back using a reinforcement. This is where communicating with the teammates matters the most. You can save a lot of reinforcements if you just call out your stratagems. Note that there is friendly fire in this game, so not only can your stratagems demolish your team, but your gunshots and melee and all of that can hurt your team as well. In my opinion, the friendly fire makes the game more fun. Being a troll and griefing your teammates is fun to an extent, but also you share all your resources in this game with your team, so you don't have to kill your teammates to get the resources, all the medals, super credits, and all that that you pick up during the matches are carried over to your whole team. There are two enemy groups to fight. You can choose to face the Terminids or battle against the automatons. Each group has multiple types of enemies. For example, there's the base Terminids or bugs. People just call them bugs. But then there's the ones that go invisible and they try to sneak up on you and just stab you in the back. Those are called stalkers, I believe. And then there's the heavily armored ones that have a lot of armor in the front and then they charge at you. I think those are called the chargers. But overall, Arrowhead does a lot to make each enemy type varied, even though there is only two main factions at this point. That was gameplay. On to the technical aspects. So this one's going to be graphics and sound. To start with the technical aspects of the game, I do want to preface by saying that I am playing on the PC through Steam, so I don't really know personally how it runs on consoles, but I did watch the Digital Foundry video on it, and I believe on the PlayStation it has two performance options, a 60 FPS 1080p option, and then a higher variable resolution but locked at 30 FPS. I think it's somewhere around like 1800p or something like that. Obviously on PC, it is really up to your components that you have. The game is pretty stable and there is a decent amount of graphical options. No DLSS though, so if you're on an NVIDIA card, you're stuck to using whatever render scaler that they're resorting to, which most likely is FSR1. That is also from Digital Foundry. Overall, I've had a couple crashes in the first few days of the game. I did play this game at launch, but since then I've been okay, other than the server queue problems, and then there is a little bit of bugs here and there. I've had a bug even on stream. If you guys watched that on stream, I had this bug where I was stuck in first person and my character wasn't even holding a gun. So there's this little bugs like that, but they seem to resolve themselves. And now the game is in a better state, even though there is still bugs. And even just yesterday, I was playing with my boys, and the game was crashing for them. So it still needs to get ironed out a little bit. Good graphics are a given nowadays, but in my opinion, this game shines with its use of atmosphere, color, and our new favorite four-letter word, aura. Dropping in on planets is always exciting because you never really know the type of atmosphere or environment you're going to land in. You don't know if it's going to be foggy or covered in snow, or if it's going to be clear or anything like that. It's cool. I think the game actually does tell you the type of environment you're landing in, but I don't really be paying attention. The music kicks in. It's pretty bombastic from the moment you drop. The moment you get into the little hell pod to drop into the planet, gets you hyped. The guns sound pretty generic, I'll say. And the player character mainly just says one-liners and stuff, and they occasionally go insane. And that was technical aspects. On to the miscellaneous. So here I got live service, and then I'm going to give you guys my pros and cons. So, no game is perfect, and this is no exception. But it is important to me that I am thorough in sharing my experience with the game, like I said earlier. So I'm about to say a contentious term in gaming circles, but this is a live service game. So what does that mean? Live service games are games that will get iterated upon. Devs will keep adding to the game until the player base dwindles to nothing. In an ideal scenario, the player base never dwindles. These live service games are super reliant on having a healthy user base that engages and buys into the content, you could say. These games are also known to drip feed content gradually and usually feature a battle pass to progress through. Battle passes usually consist of unlocking new skins, weapons, emotes, armors, and all that. So yes, Helldivers 2 has all the hallmarks for a games as a service, also known as a live service game. You could even call these games GAS, G-A-A-S, games as a service. So in Helldivers, there is 2 battle passes here, at least as of this point. One that is available to everyone that buys the game, and then the other one that is locked off to people that either bought it or you can earn it through the in-game currency, which I believe is called the super credits. The battle pass system that Arrowhead designed for this game is as good as it gets, in my opinion. You aren't forced to unlock everything, but you can kind of pick and choose what you want. So if there is a specific armor set that you don't like in that little tier, then you don't have to get it. You can choose to get other stuff, which I kind of like. I kind of dig. But the paid for / earned battle pass is a negative in my eyes because, you know, it locks away content away from people that paid for it. So it's not pay to win because you can still earn the premium battle pass, but they shouldn't lock off stuff for people that pay for it. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. But yeah, so the system is good, but the paid and the unpaid one, I kind of am not really messing with right now, but it is what it is. But yeah, they've also said, Arrowhead specifically has also said that the battle passes won't disappear after each season, so there's not going to be any FOMO, apparently. It's kind of like a Halo Infinite. If you guys play that game, the battle pass in that game, they don't go away. You can go back to the older battle passes, or you can do the new ones, so on and so forth. And that was the miscellaneous. Now we're going to move on to the pros and cons. And I'll give my overall summary for the game. So, pros. First one I got. Unique weight to the characters and movement. My opinion, it's like Last of Us, but I've also said that it's also similar to MGS 5. It has a vibrant atmosphere, diverse planets with dense foliage and gorgeous skyboxes. The stratagems are the most unique aspect of this game. They create cinematic moments for your team. And I've even seen moments where you just see people launching hell bombs and stuff, and they're just standing there emoting, and it's cool. The game is co-op, so that's good. And I even put a pro for this game being a live service game. In my opinion, that makes this game more intriguing. The cons. So the cons I have is there's no real variety in viable weapons. Specifically the secondary. The breaker shotgun is the best weapon in the game at this point. All the other weapons are kind of secondary to it. There is only 2 secondaries. So there's only a pistol and a submachine gun, which is really odd. But there is quite a bit of primary weapons, though. There is no stratagem hero for base players. So if you just bought the base $40 game, you cannot play stratagem hero. It's a con. There's only 2 factions for enemies, bugs and automatons. Everything is a variation of the base enemy. There is some vehicle variants later on in the harder difficulties, but yeah, 2 main factions, so everything is pretty much going to be either a variation of a bug or a variation of a robot. And the last one I have is mission variety. Most missions boil down to kill this, upload that, find this. In my opinion, it's very rudimentary. And I would like to see them add a little bit more mission diversity. Even though each mission doesn't play out the same, the stuff that you're doing in the missions is pretty similar. Now we're on the overall summary. So, Liberty. It's good. It even has moments of carnage bliss. But it is not great. In a few months, it may very well be. But as of right now, and at least to me, the thing that makes this game special is that it symbolizes PlayStation's first real step to treating PC players the same as console players. And the PC player base is what's carrying this game right now. And I think that's a step in the right direction. I think Sony should look into giving more games day and date on PC and that PC platform, because I feel like the PC players engage with content more and they're more willing to try new stuff. And at the time of writing this review, I played the game for 24 hours. I have earned 23 out of the 38 achievements. And the main takeaway I have for the game is we just gotta wait and see. The potential is endless here. Their options are wide open. They can collaborate with so many different entities or companies or developers or even IPs. They can collaborate with so many different IPs that it makes like the options wide open, and it makes the future of this game really exciting, in my opinion. But the foundation is there. The base is pretty solid. It is now in their hands to take it and make it great. And that was my Helldivers 2 review. Now it is time to bring you guys another perspective. All right. Okay, so I have my own review, but I like to give multiple perspectives.
Okay, cool.
I have someone that has over double my playtime in Helldivers. All right, real quick.
Don't say it like that.
Nah, that means you're liking it. That means you like it.
All right. True.
Real quick, though, I got Julian with me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We're just going to talk Helldivers real quick. I know I asked you to do like a pros and cons list for me. You want to go through those with me real quick?
Yeah. full disclaimer, I played the first one, big fan of it. Might be a little biased, all right? That's big fan of the first one. Pros, it's the combat is really good and really fun. The gameplay is really hectic and chaotic, and they kept that same energy from the first one, where it's like everything can kill you. Friendly fire is always on, right? You could get really creative, like you could use someone's like revive to go kill a bio titan. That's great. Second pro, man, what was the second pro?
You want me to
second
pull 'em
pro?
up?
Yeah, pull them up because I'm getting like
it's
really late at night right now.
So okay, so your second one was PvE game.
Yeah, PvE. Okay, yeah, I like PvE because like there's already so many PvP games that I'm glad they didn't do that with this. Like this is what like Destiny was supposed to be, where it's like you team up with a bunch of your friends, you're constantly fighting new environments and new enemy types, which Destiny does do that really good. Like everyone, like the people I know, just stick with the PvP side of Destiny, which kind of ruins it, right? Like, but still, PvE, love it. I hope they said they're gonna get they're never gonna add PvP.
Yeah.
So that might be a pro, and that might be a con for some people. I'm fine that they're gonna stick to their original game design, right? And they're not gonna try to like, oh, we're gonna try to satisfy everyone. This is our thing. This is what we're gonna do. Next one.
Yeah, next one is relatively transparent updates from the devs.
Yeah, the devs are being really because those first 2 weeks were rough, but the devs, they kept you up to date. Like this is what our staff is looking like. This is what this is what we had projected. We didn't expect the game to pop off. With was it 3 million sales? Like they were expecting like around that 1 million, 500,000, right? Their server space was only geared up for 70K. Now they have it. Yeah, at launch it's 70K because the first game they only had like I think 10K was the peak of like the game.
Oh wow.
Like, yeah, so like 70K was like, oh, okay, yeah, well 7 times our game. We don't expect us to be like fucking Call of Duty levels.
Yeah.
Of like congruent players. So I like that. They're teasing new stuff. They're already teasing the mech. They're already teasing like new environments, new enemy types. I like that they're really being upfront and honest. Like, yeah, we were not expecting this, but we're working hard, and they got that shit done in like 2 weeks. And that brings me to my cons. First two cons. First 2 weeks were rough. First 2 weeks. For me, a big fan of this game, having to like sit in a queue and maybe not even play all day because all day it's like this queue is full, right? That sucked, right? Even though I just bought this game, I was hella excited to play it, and like I'm sitting in the queue, I'm waiting to hop on. And then on top of that, there was bugs, so you might crash. We were just playing a few minutes ago. There were still a couple bugs left in the game, so that sucks.
Yeah,
that's a con. And they still got work to do. What else? What else did I put?
So,
what else did I put?
So for the cons, that's all you got. Now we're on the mess.
Yeah. Okay. So
the first one you put is the battle pass system.
Battle pass system. I mean, every game has a battle pass. I think the way they're doing it in here is very. It's not that. What's the word? Exploitative? Exploitative?
Yeah, they don't exploit the consumers.
Yeah, like I like that the battle pass is you could very easily complete it in the game by just playing the game, right? You pick up medals throughout your playthrough. It's not that hard to like finish it. I mean, it's gonna take some hours, but like again, you're playing the game because it's fun. It's not like Overwatch where it's like, okay, there's literally no way, there's no practical way of finishing this battle pass without buying it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like it's gonna you're gonna need to put in like over like 100 hours or something if you want to finish like a new Overwatch battle pass. Like raw, no booster, no buying it.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of the Halo battle pass also, the way you could you like the amount of time it takes to complete, and also like now that they're announced that it's going to be permanent, so like you don't have to worry about missing out, right? And there's no FOMO.
Yeah.
Like there's no like oh, I got to get everything right now because it's going to be gone. It's going to be limited time. Instead, they said, yeah, you can complete this at any time you want, right? Even when we get a new battle pass, you can stick on the old one, or you can just move on to the new one, right? And the great thing about this battle pass, it's not linear, right? You could jump around, pick what you want off of it, right? It's more like a shop, really.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, oh, here's like first item you unlock, second item you unlock, third item you unlock. Instead, it's like, oh, I want this cloak, or I want the gun first, or I want the grenade first, or I want the taunt or the emote first. That's really great. You just get to pick what you really want out of the battle pass. You don't have to like waste medals, waste resources on unlocking everything, even though you don't want everything. So that's great. The microtransactions, I think the most you can spend is $20 in the game, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, if I'm correct, it's like $5, $10, and then 20, something like that. So that's great. You're never gonna be like Diablo 4 has like a $150 like premium like money currency microtransaction. That's crazy. That's double the price of the game itself.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. So I'm glad the devs are like, yeah, you're never gonna spend more than $20 buying like the super credits, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. And the super credits you just buy are this like just buy armor for you. That's on like a little rotation.
On top of that, though, you don't even have to buy the super credits. You can.
Yeah, you get the super credits in the game, and you get them pretty reliably too. Also, the super credits are also in the battle pass, so you could choose to buy super credits with the medals you get from the games. So like getting medals and getting super credits while you're playing can help you just like get whatever armor set you really want. So that's good. Again, microtransactions, meh, because it's like they got to do it because it's a live service game. You got to keep the game funded somehow past the initial $40 price point, right? Like the $40 you first pay into is like to keep the game alive for like the next like year. But then after that, we're gonna need to like fund the game for new content and all that.
Yeah, for sure. And because I think that the devs even said that they're never gonna charge for new content.
Yeah, basically, unless it's so weird because the first one did have DLC drops where you could get like lots of new stratagems and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know, maybe they don't plan on doing that anymore, and they just plan on adding it to the game. So we'll just have to wait and see on that because the first one did have DLC where you could buy and you could get a lot of new stuff. But maybe with the way they have it monetized, maybe they don't need to do that. Maybe the super credit system will be good enough.
But that's like the main like what am I trying to say here? Like the main point that I get away from the game is that like really now it's in the developers' hands, right?
Yeah,
like they put out basically a good product, but like now it's up to them to make it like great.
Yes, exactly. It's like you have the potential for like your own like Fortnite level live service game, right? Like this game is popping off in popularity. I did not expect it to.
Yeah.
Right. No. Like I did not expect my friends to buy this. Like when I forced my friends to buy this game, I was like, okay, they're gonna buy this game, but I mean, it's gonna be us just playing it, right? Because like I know it's not gonna be popping like that. But then this shit popped off, dude. Literally, it popped hella off.
Word of mouth.
And I'm happy it did because I love the first one and I love this one. So I really wanted to see it survive, and I really want the devs to support it and to do everything in their power to make sure this game doesn't die from like some dumb decision, right? And then so far, again, back to point 3, why I think it's a pro is the devs are being really clear and transparent with what they're trying to do with this game, right? They're not like oh yeah, we're just gonna like drop some shit, like we're gonna randomly drop a new like battle pass system. Instead it's like this is what it's gonna be, right? And so far all the decisions made, like seeing that microtransactions are capped at $20, that's a good sign. Seeing that the battle pass could be earned through just playing the game, that's a good sign. Seeing the devs solve the server issues within 2 weeks and solve most of the bugs, not all of the bugs, but solve like some serious ones like within 2 weeks, right? Like it shows dedication, it shows love that they have for their game, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited for. But again, it's like could totally flip on a dime if we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, for sure. Overall, people should buy it.
Overall, I love the game. Yeah, Cop it.
Cop it.
Cop it. And they fix the servers. You can hop on and spread democracy.
For sure. And I think that's good. What you think?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Thank you for sliding in real quick. You know, I'm just gonna add this to my to the review.
Yeah, it's like gonna be a little segment.
Yeah, it's gonna be your little input on the game. Because I actually have some criticisms in the review, but you'll see them in there.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, thank you for
cool.
tuning in. Thank you for talking to me.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, you my democracy brother.
Yes, sir. All right, bro. Good night.
Yes, sir. Good night, man. All right, we're coming back. We're coming back to just me. Like a dragon. So I just beat this game. I'm not gonna go super in depth. It's not gonna be a review of the game. Just my thoughts. It's another good game that is bogged down by mandatory grinding for experience and money. That alone added almost 10 to 15 hours on top of the playtime for me. The story carried the game for sure. I did not continue playing the game because of the combat. Even though the combat is pretty interesting, I started to find a lot of gripes with it. I was really engaging with the story for the most part. But, you know, most Yakuza games start off incredible for me. I usually start off doing everything, all the side missions, all the side content and all that. But then gradually I become less and less interested in engaging with that content. And then after a point, just start mainlining the game. That's kind of how my experience with every Yakuza game has gone. 0, Kiwami 1, and Kiwami 2. 0 being my favorite one so far still. But yeah, I ended up mainlining the game after a certain point, but like I said, the game forces you to mandatory grind for experience because the bosses that you face late game are most likely going to be, 10, 15 levels ahead of what you are out of that point. And as you guys know, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. But the great story, the ending actually had me a little bit emotional, I'm not going to lie. Ichiban, I started off really liking him, then I stopped liking him a little bit, and then I ended up still really liking him as a character, even though he was obsessed with his father figures and stuff. But overall, I'm glad that I cleared this game off my plate for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. All right, last little bit of what am I gonna call this? I think it's just gonna be called rambles. I'm just gonna be rambling here, I guess, to end off this episode. Sony and PlayStation. So the main thing I have to say about them is that it's turbulent over there. Their budgets for their games are ballooning, but the consumer base has stayed the same. PlayStation only sells first-party games to the same 8 to 12 million people, but the PS5 has sold over 50 million units. The PS4 has sold over 100 million units. So what is the truth? The truth is their games do not sell enough unless it has Spider-Man or God of War in the title. The PlayStation dudes I know that cap for bangers, I fucking hate that word, ain't buying the motherfucking bangers. Dudes that got their PS5s are just playing the same old shit. And I think Sony Interactive Entertainment, SIE, Hiroki Totoki specifically, he's starting to finally catch on. And yeah, that is Subeg's Garden episode number 28. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you got this far, appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a comment. Shout out to you. And yeah, peace out.